and the animation of the word through your voice and to the intonation of your voice that you cause the four elements of fire, air, water, and earth, which is essentially the WORD. You are causing these particular elementals to no longer be just conscious as themselves, but through your word become conscious of themselves. And that's when you begin to project magic. That's when you change your reality.
I went from living like monks, living out back in the trunk, to pockets of fat with the monks, pockets of fat like the club. Now I am living like Trump. Now I am living like Trump. Mimosas and mimosas, mimosas and mimosas, mimosas and mimosas. The walkers kosher notion, pulling up in Testarossa, recharging the debt, discharging the debt, discharging the debt, recharging the jet. Swipers on deck, ciphers on deck, ciphers on deck, wipers on deck, wipers on deck. My life is on check, my life is on check, my life is on tubes, my life is on juice, my life is on you. My wife is on two, my wife is on two. I'm going for 3, you know it is me. Red is the pillar, the jet is my pillar, the fence is the killer, the bread is gorilla. The flow is Godzilla, the lizard a beast. I visit the priest, and tell him my sins. I tell him I'm twin, I tell him I'm Jim. High majesty, high as can be. I am a mountain, I'm by the fountain, the fountain of youth.
Yes. There you have it, family. That right there is Mimosa Samosa off of the original Scorpion King album. If you don't have that, make sure to go to Th3rd.bandcamp.com. Th3rd.bandcamp.com. You could go ahead and get that album. I don't know if that's streaming. I got to check that out. But if it's not, I'm going to go ahead and put it on the streaming services. All right, let's do this roll call. All right. Peace to the family. Charlotte is in the building. Setting it off. Boston is in the building. Blue Hill, Pittsburgh is in the building. Pennsylvania is in the building. Dallas is in the building. South Carolina is in the building. Salute. Okay. Gable Court is in the building. Los Angeles is in the building. Sacktown is in the building. Yeah, drifted through the Carolines. Chicago's in the building. Jersey's in the building. Harrisburg is in the building. Newark, New Jersey's in the building. All right. Vermont. Somebody said they suffering in Vermont. Tell me what you mean by that. But y'all in the building. Baltimore in the building. Be more in the building. ATL's in the building. Pompano Beach is in the building. Dallas is in the building. Richmond, Virginia's in the building. New Orleans is in the building. Louisiana's in the building. Harlem in the building. Nashville in the building. Old Town Road. Shout out to Little Nas X. Yeah, Nashville is in the building. New England is in the building. Florida, Mississippi, Land of Flowers. Vegas is in the building. These are all places that I've been, and I got fam, and I've been there. Des Moines is in the building. New Orleans is in the building. Salute to New Orleans. All right. New Mexico's in the building. Yeah. Thank the Hopi tribe out of New Mexico. Shout out to everybody that's been downloading the American Gods lecture. All right. I definitely want to come to Vermont. Set it up. I will pull up. I want to come to Vermont. There's some things about Vermont we got to talk about. North Carolina in the building. Salute. Moving through the Carolines.
From Snubs to the Rockets. For the love of the chopsticks. magnetic fields, moving with serpents. Took my broke as a stroker.
Ha. Yeah, we'll end out the show with that right there. But welcome to another episode of Third Eye Thursday. This is number 26, I believe. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host, the Scorpion King, aka Red Pillar, aka Filthmore, aka Wisdom. I don't know if they ever do black trivia on Red Pill, you'll have to say, what was my first nickname outside of my government? And if anybody knows me, they know that my first name, my first graffiti name was Wisdom. Wizdom. That was my first alias, alter ego, my first God name. And then it was Phil Figure. And after Phil Figure, it was Twin. And then after Twin is Red Pill. Those are my incarnations. Those are my neos up until this neo that you get right here. But that's my different, those are my different alter egos. And my daughter's name happens to be Wisdom. That's her first name. So you see how that cycle works? You know? If you are trying to get me in your city, you know how to hit me up. The same way that you would hit me up about gold water, clothing, how to get a link to the 20 ebooks. Any question that you have, I'm accessible through the DMs on the gram or through the email services. I get tons of emails, so it takes time to shift through everything. But I definitely will be able to communicate with you. Or you can hit me directly on my line, especially if it's about that bag. If you want to talk business, there's a direct line where we could talk immediately. You don't even have to wait. So, if you're serious about that, you know what I'm talking about? Pick up the cosmic phone. Call me. There's no invisible booking agency out there that's making deals for me, my nigga. Like, hit me up. Let's talk business. All right? Have I heard the term Nasara law? Nah, enlighten me. I have not heard that. I would like to hear that. Well, we're doing an early show, first and foremost, because I'm going to be on the road tonight, right? I have plans to travel. KTL will be in the ATL this weekend. Shout out to Blue Pill. Shout out to AA Rashid. Shout out to Ra Aku. Shout out to Aquarius Maximus. And everybody who plans on attending the monumental lecture in Atlanta, Georgia, in the West End on June the 30th at the Wadada Juice Bar and Lecture Hall. Make sure you are in the building. The name of the lecture is entitled "The Universe is Conspiring," and it ends right there, because your interpretation of what the universe is conspiring, that's gonna be how you're going to walk away with the information. But there's going to be masters who you don't necessarily see a lot, and you definitely don't see them together in the same setting. I'm speaking about the cosmophysician, Ra Aku. If anybody's familiar with our catalog, Know the Ledge Radio, our storied history, and the 700 plus shows that we have in the podcast universe via Know the Ledge Radio on Blog Talk Radio, you know who Ra Aku is. You know that he's a master of the numbers, of cosmology, and a bunch of things, astrology, and other sciences that you probably have no idea about. Then we have a sister that goes by the name of Aquarius Maximus. Aquarius Maximus is a master at what she does. She's also one of the foremost leaders in cryptocurrency inside of the melanated women market, because that's a whole different genre, right? You have different niches. So in developers or cryptocurrencies of black women in America, she's up there maybe at number one, because she's one of the only owners of a coin that goes by the name of Guap coin, that's recognized through all of these crypto agencies and things of that nature. So she'll be there as well. And then we have the legend, the unapologetic Kabbalah God, AA Rashid, come in to do what AA Rashid does the best. You know what I'm saying? And that's drop some science. So Blue Pill is going to be the host. All right. And I'll be in the building I'm gonna have full products on deck, ATL on the 30th. Okay? So let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Let's make this happen. I look forward to meeting whoever I'm supposed to meet. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking to meet 1 million people. Whoever I'm supposed to meet, I look forward to meeting those people. You know what I'm saying? There'll be an event. If I met one person, that shit changed the trajectory of my mission. Or it may have been a door that opened up that helped me walk into a room where there's a pool of money like where Scrooge McDuck used to dive into. You know, because remember, anybody that's out here talking about being a billionaire, who wants to be a billy goat, right? Who wants to be a millionaire, billionaire, sex trillionaire or something? I heard it said on Mike Tyson's Hot Box with LL Cool J, which is a classic episode that I recommend everybody listen to, right? For many different reasons. But they said something about a sextillion. I don't know if it was pronounced that, but it's like 30 zeros. If that's your goal in life, until everything becomes automated, which is right around the corner, but up until that point, it's based off relationships. Like billionaires become billionaires and millionaires become millionaires, not because they have a hot product only, or not because of a concept or an idea or an accumulation, a combination of intellectual property, not because of licensed software only. It has a lot to do with the core, which would be almost like the cement that's holding the hemp concrete or the bricks together. That would be the relationship, right? That you forge between people that you do business with. Because in order to make this kind of money, in order to make these things, these products sell or these services to be accepted, there's gonna either be a client to a vendor relationship, or you got to build some kind of trust. You got to build a sort of a bond and whatnot. That's why people would say, yo, as long as I had relationships, I didn't worry about going broke or bankrupt in Hollywood, because I knew that the relationships that I forged were my social credit. That's your social credit score. It's not the same as Equifax and the other credit scores. This is a different sort of credit, meaning that my face card is good. I'm good for the front. You know what I'm talking about? I'm good for consignment. I'm good for somebody saying, you know what, you a good person. Don't ever worry about not having, because you'll always have, because there's always going to be somebody there for you based off of the reciprocation of the good that you do. And that doesn't apply to everybody. You know what I'm talking about? It's some people that were born underneath different influences of their planetary alignments, and that has nothing to do with their genetic makeup or the perception of how they're programmed to see themselves inside of this holographic universe, this matrix, this video game. You know what I'm talking about? This is a program. This is a program. This is not real. This is all an illusion. You understand? This is all an illusion. This is the same illusion that me speaking to you through your phone right now, either through your smartphone or if I'm broadcasting through your desktop. You're receiving code. You're receiving light codes. You're receiving all of this information through one eye, and then you're outputting what it is that you perceive and what's the concept through your other eye. I look totally different to hundreds of people right now, or different people. I don't look the same because your interpretation or your perception is not the same. So the same way that you could look at a movie on a movie screen and it looks real because of the way that it's put together, is the same way the reality looks real, because we all are in agreement that this is our holographic reality and this is what we've accepted. But it's not real, my genius. Quantum theory, string theory, and a whole bunch of other things have shown that we're not even solids. Or the theory of consciousness and whatnot, and the fact that quantum theory dictates that we're just energy in motion. The same concept of a hologram, when you utilize the Oculus Rift or the halogens, is the same concept that applies to reality. There was a book that I read from David Icke, Okay? I be beating up on David Icke. And one of the things that I realized about this knowledge that we used to come across in the 90s is that that knowledge, those lessons that we read about, it was almost like inception, because those lessons begin to manifest. So we were oblivious to certain things that we were reading inside of the Ike books, inside of the Medu Neter by Ra Nefer. We were kind of, even York's books. We was like, what the hell? It was busting our brains when we were reading them. Now, when we go back and revisit the information, the shit is a roadmap. Now it makes more sense. So instead of beating up on the Ikes of the world and all of the Europeans who we are foundationally, my generation, we're foundationally indebted to them for their literature, because a lot of us read a lot of their books, and the shit's opened up our minds. Our pineals were activated, or we got to the books when they were activated. And it helped create the reality that all of us exist in right now, that we're all benefiting from a lot of the wells that we're drinking from. A lot of people got influenced by a lot of other people. This is a cesspool of, of intelligence. You know what I'm saying? It's an ionosphere. And anyone could tap into it. It's not restricted. Anybody could tap into it. But those books were definitely important. I'm a firm believer that we're creating the reality that we all see right now. I'm a firm believer that we're living in the dreams of our master teachers, meaning that if you really go back and listen to the names of the master teachers that I mentioned on Melanin Monday's episode, I did a roll call of the master teachers, the master teachers. There are master teachers teaching right now, but to spare confusion, I got to the crux of a certain class of master teachers, not to negate the other classes. We have to be very mindful and very careful. But I'm speaking about a group of teachers who directly fed the machines, the algorithms that created this expression, this modern day expression of what we're witnessing and what many of us are encapsulated in. There's a trifecta to that movement. There's a trifecta to that master teacher pantheon, and that trifecta is Bobby Hemmett, Dr. Phil Valentine, and Dr. Delbert Blair. Then you have Ashra Kwesi, Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark. Then you have Khalid Muhammad, Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad, or, and then Farrakhan. Then you have the influence of Noble Drew Ali, C. Freeman L., Taj Tariq Bey, and all of these other Moorish teachers and scholars and stuff, and that creates. But there's master teachers. There's Hakeem Bey, okay. There's Jose Pimenta Bey. There's Azariah. All right. There's C. Freeman L. These are the architects. These are the ones who come before others. Yes, Dr. Kaba. You know what I mean? Ivan Van Sertima. And then you have Abdullah Mosley Bey. And then you also had Taj Tariq Bey. Then you have Sister Raz Mariah Bey. Then you have Yafa Bey. Then you have Sister Myra L. Right? Then you have Uriel Bey, rest in peace. Then you have True Master. Then you have Asir Duke Tears. Then you have the Aboriginal Law Firm. And then you have my good brothers Shyam and Elamir and what they did. Then you even have Ali Muhammad and his demonstration with his group called ISIS in the beginning. So there's a lot of, then you have Sabir. You have a lot of people playing their parts. But everybody has a timeline. Everyone, there's a period where everyone comes into play. So I'm giving homage to those through the timeline in a chronological order, if you understand what I'm saying, if you could dig what I'm saying, if you could follow me, if you could walk with me, you know what I'm saying, if you could talk black to me. I'm building a chronological order because that is very important. You don't want to be all over the place when you begin to tell the story about how this thing became what it is today. And Garvey's influence is definitely felt throughout all Pan-African movements, all of the teachers that he's influenced. He's influenced millions of teachers. The teachers nowadays are influenced by the Holy Trinity. Now, see, there's a Holy Trinity in the underground metaphysical world, the metaphysic underground, and the, yes, Professor Griff as well, and the metaphysical underground and the dark matter think tank. That's Dr. Phil Valentine, that's Dr. Delbert Blair, and that's Bobby Hemmett, right? But then there's a whole new aspect of the conscious community in its earlier inception, before it was a dark matter think tank, and that trinity, the supreme trinity that started 100 years ago. This thing is a continuing cycle. This is a 100-year dynasty. Always keep that in mind. Always put that in your third eye. Meditate on that. Go ahead and take a, really study that concept that we're in a 100-year dynasty. And the original trifecta is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Noble Drew Ali, and our good brother Marcus Mosiah Garvey. They started a 100-year dynasty. Their impact, their influence, and what they brought to the game, the way that they changed the game, and their overall legacy is still felt. It multiplied. There's some teachers that have aspects of all three of them in them now. You know what I mean? They don't die, they multiply. So they incorporate it into the spirits and the souls of teachers who have them in their bosom, all three of them, including other master teachers, versus when they were around, there was not that aspect of somebody having all of them because you were experiencing them individually. But when they go into the ancestor realm, when they tap back into the one, now you as the modern day American God, now you as the modern day, you are more powerful than any God that ever walked this earth because of the time period and the continuum in which you exist right now, which is the present, because you can now incorporate a whole gumbo of the great ones in your DNA, and you have the possibility to even be greater than them. The same way when you give birth to your seed, your progeny, I hope one of your affirmations will be that I want my seed to be greater than me. What good is it if it's only as great as me? If I'm gonna try to block my seed's greatness as if I wanna sit on the throne until I'm a bag of bones. No, you raise yours to be greater than you. Mine's is gonna be greater than me. That's a fact. Mine's will be greater than me. Mine's will be greater than me, bro. That's a fact. To be honest with you, I ain't even gonna get into it, but mine's will be greater than me. And they already exhibit the traits of greatness. And I have people around me, and it's not just me, it's family, and family is able to, utilize discernment. And they're like, yo, I remember when you were this age, y'all wasn't, I'm seeing the advancement of the children at a younger age. Like, we're able to gauge it. You know what I mean? And it's a good thing because, it helps you with building with bringing the gods out of your seeds so they could walk in their truth, so they could become their purpose. That is your job. And I don't think it ever ends. I don't care if you still alive and your child is 70. To me personally, it don't end. The parent is like a magnet. The child, first of all, the DNA just alone is mad curled up. I don't know if you know this, but this is hold on, let's get to the business. That's a fact, an actual factual, right? A super facts, a factory, facts, facts a million, factology. You know what I'm talking about? Facts Barilla and facts or fiction. It's a fucking fact that if you take your DNA, you could wrap that DNA around the planets. Not you could stretch it from the Earth all the way to another planet 12 times. That's how much you got inside of you in terms of your you know, that's a fact, right? So your parents, the magnetic pull of your parents who require greatness from you, they pull out the best of you. They're the ones that are the magnets that pull out what is already inside of you. God is inside of you. Greatness is inside of you. The millionaire that you want to be, he's hiding somewhere inside of you. They are the magnets. They pull it out of you. And then when you get married, your wife or your husband is the magnet. And even your girlfriend's your baby, right? If you with your shorties, or if you got a shorty that you checking for on your timeline, and she always putting up some videos that get you wild motivated, truth or dare, she has the possibility as the magnet. Remember, we're all magnets. Some are stronger than others. You know what I'm saying? A woman, niggas is these simps. You know what I'm talking about? The red pill movement, where these simp guys hate on women because they don't understand they are babies in their knowledge. They're in juvenile detention, and they don't understand the charges of just the binary world that we live in, or the binary code, or the dualistic properties of the genders. Women are magnets. So they're going to put up an Instagram, and there's going to be millions of people attracted to them because they're magnets. They have magnetic energy, right? And they're even sacred. The sacred geometry of their curvativeness, of the way that they're shaped, enhances that pull. That's a fact. Nigga, you walk by something with a bubble, you get caught up in this magnetic field. Facts. You get drip. Your planet starts. It goes off orbit. I crashed a rental before staring at a badunkadunk. That's a fact. That's a factory. Don't let me pull the shirt out. But I'm telling you, magnets. So if you're attracted, right? If you're attracted to, let's say that you meet a shorty, right? She meets you and you're in your savage state, meaning that you're in your bachelor state, meaning that you just don't give a fuck. You just letting your hair grow long and crazy. You know, you're not really focusing too much, and you meet something and she's a little out of your tax bracket, or she's a baddie. You know what I'm talking about? She's coming down Old Town Road looking like, you know, not Meg the Stallion, but Peg the Stallion. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to Meg. But you know, sounds too white to me. But anyway, she's galloping by, and then you wind up scoring and whatnot. You in the gym like this. You doing wild push-ups. You getting your shit together. You starting to get tapers instead of shape-ups. Like she's gonna bring out something in you that was innate. That what else was gonna bring it out? Dragon Ball Z? What's gonna make you do that with the stuff that you indulge in on a regular basis? Especially if you live in a virtual world where you a pimp, you Snoop Dogg, P.I.M.P. my nigga, you're a lady killer on Pornhub. You're in virtual relationships. You gotta, you know what I mean? You're polygamous online in the fantasy land. This nigga's married to 3 channels and whatnot. He don't got 3 chicks. He don't got 3 wives. He got 3 channels that he's married to. Those are his bitches. And they do good by him. Every night and day. But there's nobody in the real world pulling shit out of you, making you want to be a boss, making you want to be a god, making you want to boss up, making you want to aspire to be a version of your higher self, because it's going to be either your children or somebody that you really love, or somebody that you really are working with, and y'all are working on rising up, guiding, you know what I mean? Not bossing up, not, oh, I'm a boss up and get my credit together. Not the fucking Negroized version of bossing up, and not the chitlin version of glow up. I'm talking about real shit. I'm talking about electrified body type shit. I'm talking about the real glow up. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the real glow up. When your credit score in the cosmos is on fleek. That's what I'm talking about. When you know, when your shit is good on all planets. All, you know, that's what I'm talking about, glowing, the real glow up. When they could see you on Sirius. All the way here. Your shit really going off. I'm talking about that part. Not a filter. Not a filter. Not that glow up. You know? Or not because you paid your American Express and your shit and your number jumped and whatnot. Or not that shit. Real shit. Sirius A, B, and C. The doggone. The you know, the dog star. Where our ancestors said that they went back to. That is our home. That's where they said that they aspire to go home to. So if I could see it, it could see me. I'm not stupid. And I'm not arrogant. I'm a realist. I'm a realist. And I don't have to think that hard. They got technology out here where you could put your goddamn phone in the sky and see a whole planet. You mean to tell me that you're so arrogant that you think that there's people who can't just look at your ass, they can't just look from where they're at and see you the same way? With a push of a button? And they're in spaceships that don't even obey the natural, they're in flying objects that don't obey, that have advanced flight capabilities that these airplanes of advanced nations haven't even caught up to. And you mean to tell me you think that observing us is a problem? But you believe that they got Hubble telescopes that told you that they could see 20 trillion light years ago. Niggas buy into that. Yo, we could see 800 planets before they blew up 50 billion light years ago. And we got that at NASA. We white and we said so. And niggas is like, oh shit, that's what it is. So you mean to tell me you believe in that, but you don't believe that you can't be spotted by somebody who's fucking wanting to look at you like they could pull you up like a website? That's what I'm trying to explain to you, that the human body and the computer, the cyberspace, or what you know as the personal computer, it's the same fucking thing. Or the World Wide Web or the internet. The World Wide Web, a place where you are creating out of the unseen. The World Wide Web is the same as the spirit realm. It's no different. It's no different. It's the World Wide Web. So the same concept that you have of the World Wide Web, where you could just type some shit in and it is what you know, and it pulls up. That's what this world is. It's a big program. It's all mental. Everything is all what you say it is. It's all mental. And when you entertain psilocybins, when you entertain any kind of natural organic, keyword natural organic, not lab tested, I'm talking about natural organic ways to defocalize, and this shit strips down to a whole nother place, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But right now, this conversation should remain, you know, at the level that it should, because it's an advanced conversation, and it's not for the neophytes. You know? But you talk about man, know thyself. You want to talk about man, know thyself. You want to talk about being on your mission. You want to talk about being on your purpose. You want to talk about saving the world. Well, there's going to be some things that you might have to tap into in order to do those things, my friend. You want to save the world, you better know who the fuck you are, and the relationship that you have with the world that you create in every moment, or every every nanosecond. It's your world, literally. And I don't know how to explain it to you, but it's your world and it's not your world because the world is the world. You understand what I'm saying? But your version of the world is your world, my nigga. Make it for what you want it to be. Make it last forever. Sit amongst the pantheon of the gods because the gods are erecting themselves on this plane. There's new gods in the 2020s that are at war with the old gods. These new gods in this modern day era are definitely the technology god, definitely the media god, definitely the conspiracy theory god, definitely the dark web, deep web god. These are all gods. These are all entities. These are all deities that are being fed. The Hollywood god, the Jesus god. They're all being fed like the gods of before were being fed through sacrifice, through blood sacrifice, through sacrifice of the salt, through sacrifice of blood, sweat, and tears. That's the salt. Blood is salt, tears is salt, sweat is salt. That's the sacrifice to the salt. That's how you feed these gods. You know what I'm talking about? And they've been sacrifice among sacrifice, bloodletting. Remember, bloodletting, spirit cooking, and what adrenochrome is, where they're draining blood from dead children who have been tortured. That is another way of bloodletting, who the small hats were definitely known. That was an act that they were known to be masters of. So you see the missing children reports. You see all of the other reports going on about all of this pizza stuff that they are penalizing and erasing and scrubbing the internet of because of the exposure that's going on and the fact that people are hitting them where it hurts. That's what you're seeing. That is what you're seeing. It's something that you should not, if you're not ready to, if you don't want to, you should not be peeping into shit that you cannot take, because underneath the surface of what you think is going on is some real sinister stuff. It's some real ugly, scary, demonic, dark, sinister shit. And 9 to 8 times out of the 10, the person who is being tortured or murdered or, traumatized, they have melanin. They belong to the melanoid nation. They belong to the melanoid nation. So utilizing the concept of connectivity and utilizing the concept of, knowing that there's a direct assault and a direct hunting and a direct, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Just knowing that you have to be very careful of going into that world. If that's your purpose, if you're here on some Harriet Tubman shit, you just don't want to have the Harriet 20s and whatnot. You want to get on your 2020 Harriet Tubman and help free the slaves. Well, there's sex slaves, there's human trafficking slaves, there's the border slaves, there's organ harvesting going on. Sex trafficking is one of the biggest businesses on the underground right now. Child trafficking coming out of the foster homes. So this is slavery, and it's going on right underneath your ADOS nose. So if there's black people who want to mimic superheroes, if they want to cosplay Daredevil and the Punisher, they should go ahead and free these slaves, because they are moving around through airports and bus terminals with their slaves. For everybody who said if they had a chance to be back in the days when niggas was getting whooped and put in balls and chains, they would have been on the Harriet shit. Well, goddamn it, you got a chance to get on your Harriet shit, because there's some slaveries going on underneath your nose. And then there's a real other slavery called the prison complex industry where they have gods, goddesses, messiahs. You know, I'm talking about fathers, dads, brothers, uncles. You know, sovereigns, owners, people who own land. They got them inside of storages and warehouses and concentration camps and you know, boxes. That's called the prison complex industry, and their 13th Amendment, legal slaves, but slaves nonetheless. The number in America being the highest in anywhere around the world, and there's dictatorships around the world, and there's all kind of upside down governments around the world, and this shit takes the cake. So what we're saying is there's a modern day slave, and they make those people work behind those walls in order to uplift depressed European communities most of the time, and other things. They're exploiting them for their labor, because labor is the driving force to cutting the you know, the bottom line inside of capitalism. So if the cheaper the labor, the better, the more you are able to manage, you're able to benefit off of your bottom line. It's more return and more reward. And they utilize big numbers, like 100 dozen and 100 dozen. They moving like that. So if they can have a purse snatcher or a crack salesman, you know, develop their products for them at 25 cents an hour, they like put all of them niggas inside of the box. Joe Biden. I had a rhyme that I wrote the other day. I said these hoes riding for Joe Biden. But what was the other bar? You know what I mean? They don't realize that Joe Biden was the one who drafted the crime bill that was basically what you saw with the Central Park 5, what you saw that horrified you with the Central Park 5 when they see us. When they see us, well, when they see us was remember, it was the catalyst. The Central Park 5 case was the catalyst. It started with the Central Park 5 being railroaded and being basically persecuted and being publicly lynched. And it continued with the Joe Biden crime bill. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Creepy Joe. Joe Blow. You know what I mean? Who looks like he eats children. He's so uncontrollable in his demonic state that he cannot keep his hands off of little children who he's probably doing all kind of stuff to, even in the public. That's why he earned a nickname Creepy Joe. This man is going to come out in years from now on God. You can mark our words for it, that he was engaged in all kind of stuff. That he was engaged in all kind of pedophilia with all of the friends inside of these liberal quote unquote organizations, who this is all that they do. This is what they do at the top of all of these corporations. There's waving these flags. And you know the flags that I'm talking about. Yo, them flags that took over New York City, B. The rainbow flag. New York is Rainbow City, yo. The shit crazy. Shit crazy. Because of somebody's sexual orientation, the way that they do it, the way that they fuck. Their flag is waving like on some conquer shit. All in New York City, bro. All in I'm talking about in all the stores, it's all rainbowed out. It's almost like when they took over when they took in Game of Thrones, when niggas conquered the kingdom and the Lannister put their flag up. You never seen a red, black, and green flag. You never seen a red, black, and green flag. You never even seen a red, gold, and green flag. It's a problem. We don't have a flag, bro. We don't have representation. We don't have the way to make ourselves fucking pride. We don't have no proud flag. Niggas is scared to fly their flag, bro. And they're coming up with fucking excuses not to fly their flag. Niggas can't even fly their Moorish flag like that. There's no black, we don't have quote unquote, oh, we're not black. Well, if you're not black, fly this flag, family, with the red flag with the star on it. Represent that shit, because that's gonna show that you're not no slave. That's going to show that you're not conquered. That's going to show that you back in your state before they made you a Negro or a colored or a black. Remember, that's is nothing personal against anybody. All I'm saying is they took away a flag of ours, and then they gave us a status. That status was a dead status. That status is locked into, if the law was a weapon, it would be a sword, and that sword is on the neck of anything trying to change it. So like like in the night movies where they could just kill you by they push the sword down in their necks, like that's what that law is, and that law is civilitaire mortuus, civilitaire mortuus, that you're dead in the eyes of the law. So as a result of being dead in the eyes of the law, your status is dead. As black and as Negro and as colored, they had you in a dead status. So there was so much things that they were able to do to you by not giving you reparations, by not repairing your nation, by not giving you the land that they promised you, by not giving you fair treatment, and basically by not giving you any kind of means to production and manufacturing, and the resources, the multiple resources that were extracted from the original Aboriginal lands, that they got leases and they have treaties, and land that you and your ancestors were toiling for, just cotton and other things. That land is mineral rich. That land is bringing up amethyst, crystals. They going in caves in America and they extracting billions of dollars out of those caves. They going in caves in South America and they extracting billions of dollars in gold, silver, copper, zinc, all of that shit. All of that's your land. You talk about reparations. You got so much shit that's owed to you. You're supposed to be getting like 5 checks. Real talk. If you really want to be honest. And like Blue Pill said on the show with Kim Brips and an excellent Tough Talk Tuesday that just broadcasted, go and check it in the archives, that if you don't attack the doctrine of discovery, and if you don't attack the church and the crown, who were the initiators of the 400-year curse, who were the initiator. There was no America when they were bringing you over here. It was the papal bulls, the doctrine of discovery. So nobody is talking about the doctrine of discovery. It's not even before slavery. It was the doctrine of discovery. The reparation is not owed by the USA. The reparation is owned by Spain, the crown of Spain, through Isabella and Ferdinand. The reparation is owned through the Vatican. You got smoke for the Pope? You ready? And they're a sovereign nation over there in Vatican City, so they could write that off. But there was business, there was LLCs, the Royal India. You have the people who were the Portuguese who came to the coast of Africa, and then you had the Spaniards who came into the Americas. The ones who came into the Americas created what you know as Peruvians, what you know as Mexicans, what you know, they slaughtered the Aztecs, they slaughtered the Incans, they slaughtered these tribes and they Christianized them, they converted them. They made the Montezumas Juan Valdez's. They gave them Christian names and they Catholicized them. They gave them Jesus. They gave them Jesus. They took away black Jesus. They took away the Coptic Christ figures, and they gave them a Romanized version. They did that in a war campaign that lasted hundreds of years in Central and in South America. That is a fact. That is a fact. They buried all of the technology of the advanced civilizations. They buried the all of the biblical evidence of Christian culture, ancient Coptic, ancient Christian, ancient biblical heritage culture in the Americas. The Grand Canyon, all kind of stuff. They hid all of this stuff. So the Jesuits, the Roman Catholic Church, Those are the people that you need to be talking to. First and foremost. Don't get it twisted. We don't have to, you know, that's a cheat code. We gotta skip the line. We gotta skip the line. What I'm seeing in everybody is cute and everything. And, you know, that shit is cool, whatever. But we gotta skip the line and get right to it. If you're a lawyer, you need to speak legalese and not in colorable terms. And you need to bring forth case law. And we need to get to this thing on a legal on a real legal level, talking about big legal time. Start bringing out these legalese terms that our people are locked in under through contractual and commercial law. Everything else is not even worth talking about. Reparations, if you don't have a flag, my nigga, there's a group of people with a sexual orientation who belong to different nationalities. They have a flag based off of their sexual orientation. Think about it in this terms. In the near future, based off of the numbers coming together, there could be a flag for people who give out back shots. There could be a flag for polygamists. Do you understand what I'm explaining to you? That they're giving out flags based off of sexual orientation. In the flag in question, that they have millions of people flying, and they have corporate entities who are not politically affiliated, like Starbucks, like the Gap, like Levi's, Champion. Everywhere that you look, they have these flags of people who have a sexual deviancy as their sexual orientation flying as a flag. They politicize corporate America based off of sexual orientations. So you mean to tell me that there can't be a polygamy flag in the future, and a backshot flag, or a sloppy toppy flag? This is the flag that everybody that does sloppy toppy flies, right? Because don't hate on us, give us our rights, right? This is our sexual position, or this is our sexual orientation. What we do in a bedroom, we're gonna fly a flag to put it in your face that this is the flag of what we do, as if niggas asked us. So there'll be bars flying a sloppy toppy flag. So if you want to get sloppy toppy, you go in that bar. Because if I'm going into a bar for a Guinness scout to make my back strong so I could blow a woman's back out, I don't want to go into a bar flying a pirate, you know what I mean, a Hershey Highway flag, and there's gonna be people in that bar who's not of my ilk. They're not of my pedigree. They're looking at me like I'm a snack, and I'm on a Sabi diet. They looking for a GMO, my nigga, and I'm alkaline. My shit is straight, and they looking for an acidic nigga. So why don't we have bars that have flying polygamy flags? So if I want to get 4 wives, I could go in that bar and they'll be there drinking Guinnesses waiting for me. If there's rainbow flags flying everywhere, because all I'm saying is I'm noticing it, and I'm making a statement that I see it. But because we live in the Kali Yuga, and because we live in this program, like I said, and because we live in the dreams of our master teachers, it was already told that this is what it's going to be. So I'm just being the observer. This is consciousness. I'm observing that it's taking place. There's nothing that I could do to stop it. It's called species terminus. The species are terminating itself right now. You know what I mean? That's what the species is having a whole, the same way that the colonies of the bees are collapsing. Well, the colonies of humans are collapsing. And I'm just observing it. I'm observing. I'm being observant to it. It's collapsing around me. You know what I'm talking about? And we're going into the age of AI. And we're going into the age of sexless humanoids and whatnot. So this paradigm and this reality as we know it, this binary world as we know it, is going into quantum. So it's collapsing. And when you see a whole bunch of people flying a rainbow flag, that means that they decided consciously that they're not going to follow the program anymore, and they're written their own code. But in that code, it doesn't multiply, it doesn't duplicate, it doesn't have the exponential rate of of the golden ratio. It doesn't observe the golden ratio because it doesn't create. It don't create, right? As where we stand at the moment, it doesn't multiply. But man and woman multiply, and then their children multiply, and then their children multiply. So you're talking about abundance. So you're talking about natural, the golden ratio, pi, the life of pi, right? Not that weird science that you niggas is all into. You know what I'm talking about? But that science could be a form of a quantum science. But we're talking abundance, pure mathematics that have been the mathematic formula and the mathematic protocol and the mathematic equations that have been running shit since day one to this day. You know what I'm talking about? To this day. And will continue to run shit to this day. So we stand in the we stand between the pillars of that truth. We stand between the pillars of that reality. Unapologetically. Sorry. You need a box of tissues? You know what I'm talking about? I think I got a few. You need some gauge? Unapologetically, we stand between the pillars of that truth of multiplication and, the world, that how it's designed to function. You know what I'm saying? Consciousness. And we function with quantum as well. Quantum is going to have people having hundreds of children. There's going to come a time when you'll be able to birth 100 children in 1 year probably. That's going to be in the future. Mark my word. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that far away. So, it is what it is. And I'm not here to judge anybody. Only God could judge you. Only the Most High, only the Creator could judge you. I'm not here to judge you, but I'll observe your actions and I'll talk about it because I'm the observer. I have the right to observe it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to decode it because I have a right to make sense of it. You feel me? And I'm going to interpret it because as the observer, I have the right to interpret what I see, not what you see. You seen you walking out the house with a purse on today with a motherfucking Nicki Minaj bundle on your head, right? You saw it that you wanted to walk out the house looking like Cardi B in a press video with nothing on but 2 stars on your nipples, sisters. So that's how you saw yourself walking out the house. Now, it's up to my interpretation. I have the right to interpret what I just saw. You know what I'm saying? That's my interpretation. That's my perception of mankind and humanity and where we at right now. And what's being shown to me as a marker, right? Or a measurement of either our sickness, either our psychosis, either our brilliance, either our excellence. Whatever way the pendulum swings, I'll be able to determine it based off of what I am seeing. Because once again, like I said earlier, if you ever study anything about this, if you do any kind of basic one-on-one studying about the power of the eyes and how they help you perceive what you know as reality, that you're seeing things upside down, and the data that image is going through one eye and it's coming out the other eye in the form of this reality that we see that is really upside down. So this is not real. It's programmable. It makes no sense to complain about it. It makes no sense to take away from it. It makes no sense to try to stop it. It makes no sense to do anything but to manipulate it and hack it. Who wants to have the conversation about how could we hack this shit? That's the only thing that we've been doing for you in front of and showing you and demonstrating. We're hackers. Red and blue pill. We hack in the matrix every day. Ever since that you see us, we've been glitches in the matrix. We the two twins in the matrix. We Neo in the matrix. Morpheus in the matrix. A whole bunch of things. Key makers in the matrix. But we hacking. We the Merovingians in the matrix. We hacking the matrix though. That's a fact. This show right here, Melanin Mondays, Third Eye Thursdays, nigga, we hacking the matrix. Cheat codes. That's right. And there's other people out here that's hacking the matrix, and I benefit off of their hacks. Shout out to A.A. Rashid, who's going to be at the lecture. Shout out to Aquarius Maximus, who's going to be at the lecture in Atlanta, June 30th at the Wadada Institute. All right, and shout out to the Cosmo physician Ra Aku. All of them, I was able to benefit off of their hacks of information, of the code breakers, of the decoders, of the master teachers, of the key makers, of the king makers. You know what I'm saying? Sarnetta is a king maker, okay? Regardless of what anybody have to say about him, it's almost like in American Gods. He would be Mr. Wednesday, but he's still a key maker. He's an old god. He might be Odin, or he might be the version of African god who is a dark god. You understand? But he's still a kingmaker. Brother Rich is a kingmaker. Okay? Red and blue pill, kingmakers. We have to be very clear about our positions in the matrix. In the matrix. So there's a power that comes with that. There's an architect in this matrix. There's somebody that's writing the whole code. There's a Morpheus in this matrix. There's a Morpheus in this matrix that's out here with their Neo. There's a Neo and a Trinity in this matrix. I just saw an article that they said they're gonna have a new matrix with Michael B. Jordan playing Morpheus. Okay? That's showing you how the conversation, that's showing you the continuation, that's showing you how the cycle is complete. 1999 it comes out, and 2019 they're continuing the narrative. They're bringing you new information, new bars. It's the series, or the quote unquote the series lives on. The series lives on with Michael B. Jordan, with Killmonger playing Morpheus. This should be interesting. The first one, certified classic. Sophia Stewart, who also wrote The Terminator, is the author of that. Right? That is the story of us in the times that we live in right now. That movie came out in 1999. The Matrix, the first Matrix. That is the Bible of modern day consciousness. That's that broke down everything that we see right now. That broke down the internet. I think the name of the remake is gonna have something, The Rise of the Nebuchadnezzar. In that shit is gonna be, I'm sure it's gonna be ill. I'm sure it's gonna be ill. So this is a time that we all exist in, that we all have work to do, and those that are doing the work can attest to the rewards that the work produces. Right? The work produces. That movie, The Matrix, came out, and then what you know is the conscious community and all of this stuff. Zion didn't even exist prior to that. You know? Zion was created online. Now YouTube is coming through like the Sentinel, snatching channels and digging through the roof and trying to expose the teachers in Zion and whatnot. And now we're at that point in the Matrix where, you know, we have to venture forward into the Matrix to find new places to set up. Remember when Neo and Trinity had to leave the Matrix? They had to leave Zion. Shout out to Zion on the Pelicans, coming from the Blue Devils in Duke, right? Shout out to Zion, because in the movie The Matrix, they were in Zion, and Zion was being attacked by the Sentinels. The Sentinels was sent by the Matrix. The Sentinels was sent forth by the Matrix. The Sentinels were the Inquisitors. The Sentinels were the same Sentinels that are in the X-Men. The Sentinel robots who were sent, the agent, the agent, bigger than the agents, bigger than the Agent Smiths, bigger than the Trolls, bigger than the Snitches, bigger than the Agent Smiths. The Sentinels came to destroy. So YouTube is sending out the Sentinels to destroy, because when they eliminate and scrub a channel, they have penetrated the ceilings of Zion. They've came through those ceilings. They've broken through that Zion. They've broken through that place where people were congregating and unplugged. They were learning. They were chilling. They were in that orgy pit and whatnot. They were on lives together. They were in, you know, when you on live and everybody is all happy and niggas is putting fire emojis in the motherfucking super chats and whatnot. That's that same cipher that you saw in the Matrix when they were dancing and they were chilling. Now niggas is dancing to Afro beats. They were dancing to the electronic EDM music, but it was all attraction. It was all melanin. It was all orgone, right? Remember, Neo and Trinity were going through orgasmic organic ceremony. Niggas is doing that online. Niggas is doing that on their timelines. Every time I scroll through my timeline, it's like the dance in Zion, nigga. It's a lot of twerking. It's a lot of gods and goddesses. It's a lot of fucking precious stones and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? All of that shit is there. The timeline is the fucking ceremony now. The timeline is the club. Your timeline is your, you know, your gathering. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, this internet is your real, it is a reflection. It is a direct I'm going to read from the book that I read this shit. I'm telling you, David Icke bodied this shit. Bodied this shit. Like he made a lot of sense in his breakdown. And I owe it to you. Matter of fact, we doing a revising. Yo, after I did American Gods, I got it mad downloads. We're doing American Gods 2.0 coming up soon. Maybe on the 4th of July. On the 4th, I might do an American Gods revisionist, where I got some add-on. I got some appended, you know what I mean? Like I got a prelude. Because I didn't identify enough American Gods and I start getting downloads. So I'm going to let y'all know about that. You know what I mean? I didn't do the etymology to many of these gods to show you how they are gods because of who they are, because of their names, because of their numbers, because of their math, because of their geodetics. You know what I'm saying? Because of their markers, because of their charts. You don't have the power, nor the right, nor the wisdom, nor the knowledge, nor the motherfucking power or the status to dictate who's who and what's what. You're not above high science. You're not above fucking facts. You know what I'm talking about? You're not above the math. That's what you're not above. You're not above the astrologics. You're not above the cosmophysics. You're not above that. You're not above the birth charts. You're not above that. You're not above DNA. You're not above genome. So if we can identify that in people, because I got a whole bunch of charts of great people, and you should see their birth charts. The shit looks like they look as powerful. The charts show you why these people are so powerful. It's in the charts. It's in their charts. Nobody who I've seen who was an immortal, who's an American god, who is a ground shaker, when you look at their charts, none of their charts say otherwise. Let's just say that. Let's just say that. This is advanced information, family. This is a little advanced knowledge. And I'm not trying to take people into a place that they're not ready to go. That's why we're going to be doing classes. That's why we're going to be doing a lot more stuff, 101 all the way up to 110. We're going to walk the family through a lot of this information, because to the untrained ear and to the neophytes, this shit might sound like, what the hell? What's going on? But for those who know, if you know, you know, This shit is, you know, it is what it is. It's that cloth talk with rhinestones, you know. But we can prove our greatness, and we should be unafraid. We should be unchallenged, unbothered to go forth and to prove our greatness. Because that's what it's gonna boil down to in the near future, that men lie, women lie, but your DNA don't. Men lie, women lie, but your genome doesn't. Men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. And that they're gonna be able to, you know, people are gonna be able to know themselves a lot more than they know themselves right now. So prepare yourself for that. Mentally prepare yourself for that world, or create it your damn self. Remember, I identify as an Afrofuturist, henceforth the Afro. I'm going to live my truth. I'm an Afrofuturist. I write the future. I speak the future. I'm 1 foot in the future, 1 foot in the now. That's what a Heru is. A Heru, the proper definition of Horus, of Heru, is one who comes back from the future to foretell of times that are coming. And that's what we do. We're soothsayers. Okay? I have 1 foot in the future. That's a fact. I'm what is known as a prophet. I'm able to prophesize because of that power, and because of that gift, and because of that talent. I guess it has something to do with being a twin. I guess it has something to do with being quantum. Because remember, we're one soul. We're one soul. We're identical. So it was one spirit split in two. So I'm existing. I'm in Atlanta somewhere right now while I'm in New York at the same damn time. That's quantum. That's not regular. That's quantum. So if something happens to my brother, I'm affected by it. If he's getting some sloppy toppy nigga, I could feel. Nah, let me stop. But we're connected. It's called string theory. It's a quantum theory that we have what is known as quantum entanglement. So I am existing in a quantum realm. I'm living out quantum reality in this 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional reality where a lot of people they're not. They're not. But as a result of the egg splitting into two, I now have a quantum entanglement with myself in the form of what is called my twin, or my Ibeji, blue pill, Paul Morland. Right? And the shit is quantum. That's what twins are. It's quantum. And there's an explosion of twins now in this epoch, in this era that we're in a new era. I was born in the mid-70s. We're in a whole new era with a whole new generation that operate on a whole new frequency, and they're vibrating to a whole new they're marching to a whole new drum. I'm aware of that. I'm not uncomfortable with that. I'm welcoming and accepting of that. I'm encouraging of that. But I know that I'm from a bygone era. A unique one at that. A unique one at that. There's nothing in popular culture that I can't trace back to my generation. And not just my generation, like my direct involvement with. Like, no, I don't want to go too deep into it. But we'll talk on it another day when we speak about reality and quantum and all of that. Because the conversation about quantum, we need to have a revisiting of it. I did a lecture entitled Quantum Supremacy. It's on Brother Rich's Patreon, Black Magic 363. We're going to bring it over to Red Pillar, my Patreon, very soon, to the Red Pillar Patreon. Quantum Supremacy is a classic. Straight classic. And it speaks about all of the quantum, everything quantum you need to know. There is no white supremacy when quantum supremacy is the order of the day. China's in a race. USA is in a race. Israel is in a race, and a few other people. Whoever has a control of quantum has control of the world. That is going to be, that's a fact. Whoever controls quantum, the quantum internet, quantum computers, and quantum technology, which will evolve into quantum weaponry, they are going to have one up on their foes. That's a fact. That's going to open up time traveling. That's already opened up what we know as the Mandela effect. That's been manipulating the time continuum and whatnot. There's a lot of shit going on that we need to focus on, but we can benefit off of that. Like I said, we are Afrofuturists, henceforth the Afro. We can write ourselves, we can write our stories, we can manipulate the timeline by making that shit a victorious story that we are the hero's journey. You have to write yourself into the fucking hero's journey. You got to write yourself into Othello. You got to write yourself into the victory march. You're the co-creator of your reality. That's what Afrofuturism is about. That's what Afro-surrealism is about. That's what I outwardly identify as, right? That's why I'm not transgender. I'm an Afrofuturist, but I'm also an Afro-surrealist. Okay? Keyword Afro. And I know with the red camera, I know with aerial drones, I know with the right camera equipment, I know with the right directors and the right team of writers and the right graphic special effects artists that I can create that reality in no time. I can manipulate the fucking future by making films, by making video games, by making digital products, by manipulating reality and quote unquote getting on Netflix or Hulu or wherever niggas congregate, right? Wherever y'all at. We have to create animation, cartoons. We have work to do. We have a job to do. And we're just getting started. We're just getting started. We're just getting started. But everybody has to play their position. At the end of the movie, there's hundreds of people involved. So go to facts2020.org and get involved. Don't be shy. Don't be facetious. Don't be an admirer who will turn into a hater because you want to sabotage. Don't be that person. Don't be intimidated by greatness. When greatness is expressing itself, because my greatness is an attractive. It's a greatness that it multiplies. It magnifies and it multiplies. So it's about others being great as well, because I've been groomed around greatness my whole life. I was 8 years old at the feet of Dr. Sebi, wanting to stand on that stage one day. My ambitions is different than yours. I was 8 years old. He was bare feet, all linen, in Brooklyn, going in St. Croix, bare feet, going in, dropping manna, Sebi's baby. I was 10 years old, pardon me. I was 12 years old. I was 13 years old. I was getting all of that information, all of those downloads. I was looking up and seeing a black God. So my development years, my impressionable years, my early years, nigga, my foundation is different. My shit hit differently. I can't compare myself to nobody, because nobody walked this walk. Nobody went through this shit. Nobody was there with us at the lectures. A.A. Rashid was there sometimes. But this is a big community and nobody was there. So I'm going to speak from my experience. Sasa was there, Usha was there, Blue Pill was there, KT was there, my sister Nakiba was there. There was people there. But I'm speaking about the people who got inspired to be and do who they are. I don't recall them being there. So they got unique experiences, and they witnessed Sebi at the stage in life that they witnessed them. That don't take away from who the hell they are. I'm not comparing. All I'm saying was I've been inspired. I got seeds planted at an early age, and life watered them. And here I am. And here I am. And the world is aware of our presence. And the world is aware of Dr. Sabi now. So his mission and his purpose has come true. And I'm living to see it. And my mama and my father is alive, and they living to see that their son is lit. All of their sons are lit. That's what they living to see, nigga. And my 2 children are here. I got a boy and I got a girl. Nigga, that's success. It's mission accomplished. I could leave tomorrow, nigga. I completed my mission. I made my mother proud. I made my father proud. They proud of their grandchildren. They love their grandchildren, right? I created a boy and a girl. You know what I'm saying? I fulfilled that. I became sovereign. I created my own reality. I helped shift the fucking paradigm of Black America and ADOSs all around the world. And people around the world. I played a hand. I had my hand on that motherfucking star on Hollywood. If it's the Conscious Hollywood Walk of Fame, nigga, I got my hand on one of them stars. I stood on my square on 125th Street for 14 years as a soldier to a mission that I was married to. That was not one individual or a person. It was a goddamn purpose, and it was a mission called consciousness. I don't even give it a name, my nigga, but they calling it conscious community, but it's something bigger than that. And I reported live from there. I went to war out there. I held the fort down there. I opened up and I was able to greet athletes and actors and rappers and dignitaries and statesmen. And I was a statesman out there. And I stood my square, my nigga, and never took a L out there. How about it? And that shit got me all around the world on a global scale. So when I look at where I was when I was 10 years old, when Sabi was on that stage, giving the world, healing the world, speaking about who he was going to be in the future and how great all of us were, and that he saw the greatness in all of us. And when he would talk to me and my brother and tell us that he saw the greatness in us, and he was telling us, be great and don't follow those niggas. And when I look back and I see where I'm at in life, I can only be proud of myself. Because it's mission accomplished, my nigga. You're going to see when a book comes out. The day is going to come out in July about Dr. Sabi. You could read about our relationship in the book. So it's not, don't take my word. I want you to take his word. Because his word is in that book. When you see that documentary, you'll see it yourself. I can't ask for anything more. I didn't come here to discover Wakanda. That's bonus. We have to understand what our purpose is. We have to identify our mission. My mission, one of them, was to be a master teacher like Dr. Sabi. Was to heal my people and to give them some power and to get them out of their sick state and to get them out of their broken state. I didn't know what fucking disease people had when they was coming into Usha, when me and my brother used to be up there damn near every weekend in the 80s and whatnot. I didn't know the chemical, what was going on a chemical level and things of that nature. All I knew that they was sick and they was broken, and my mother and Ma'a and Wiwa and Usha and all of the people who were working with Sabi were there fixing them. They were there fixing them. They were helping them stand up straight. They were repairing them. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, I want to do that. I don't know if I want to do it like this, though. I don't know if I want to sell niggas these bags of herbs. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's what I want to do. But I want to do it. When I saw the love that he was getting from the ladies, when I saw the love that he was getting from his people and the respect that men gave him, I wanted that. As a young man, I wanted that. I was like, I want to live like that. Fuck out of here. I'm not going to college. I'm going to be an outlaw, and I'm going to live on the edge like Sabi. I'm going to smoke my weed, talk my shit. I'm going to have mad women around me. He had bankrolls, a cash. He was bankroll fresh. You know what I'm talking about? He didn't have to wear socks. He was walking with sandals with no fucks given. And I was like, I like that. You know? And it made me think unconventional. It made me think about being an anti-hero. It made me think about not being what my father wanted me to be, going to college and conforming and being an American. I wanted to be an American God. You know what I'm talking about? Not to say that my father wasn't prepping me or grooming me to be an American God, but Sabi was on his God shit, bro. That nigga was guarding. I wanted to guard. I wanted to be on some God shit. So of course, you know, through the course of my life, I went through the underworld, came out shining, you know what I mean? And I went through my transformation and here we are. Hold on, I gotta get my door. Hold on. Take a break. It's a break, y'all. Take a smoke break.
Couldn't predict the storms that follow, the porn that followed. Same a tree that formed for Rollo. We made it rain and we burnt muddy. Bentley truck, interior burnt honey. Anyway, I take respect over riches any day. I take neck from your bitches any day. Penny weight, that's a neck for the riches any street. Shifting through paradigms, the color of Geechee Dan. Drifting through the Carolines, Gullah in the Geechee land. Time will tell. We move around the 33rd parallels, like Coney Island carousels. Fell asleep at Roswell, woke up in Cozumel. Pyramid hopping, chariot shopping. #1 seller, author of conscious fiction. Composition, confidence dripping. Continent drifting, a walking contradiction with a contradiction. Brooms and mops, Mr. Clean. We conquered the kitchen, facts and fiction. Contrary to popular predictions, red pill, popping your prescriptions, stopping your addictions. Yeah, bitchin' with the hoes. Black magic, yeah, bitchin' with the souls. Anything goes. Cooking in Brooklyn, cocaine to push. New strains of the kush, we call that Hussein in the bush. We from distant lands. Our DNA, different strands, different streams. Same planet, but different planes. Citizen Kane, Rosebud, they wanna get us in chains. Rosewood, the safety stay on position. Chaos position. Never took the day off in kitchens, way off in pitching. These bitches out here fighting for fashion over, crashing rovers, gassing over 3 times. Pre-crimes, Versace from your heyday, on layaway like Takashi and Treyway. Hopping with the AK, the war is on double consciousness. The devil's competence and accomplishments. When rhetoric turns into reason, then predicates turn into heathens. And the wolves in Connecticut is seasoned. Soon after disease will follow. I'm the same nigga that the D's would follow. Marlowe, my fam grew moving trees like Rollo. Before they seized the Gallardo. Went from Pablo, hopping out Diablos. Designer robes, dark side of the moon like the China probes. Believe it or not, my mind is all Wrigley's. Believe it or not, my mind on the big leagues. Ice Cube with the big 3. Vine in the fig tree. Man on the big B's. Moving back in time like the Frisbees.
Alright.
Under the pink moon,
That's copper. That's gold foil. I got different gold foil. I got copper foil. These are some new pieces from Kings County for the summer. I will have them on a website later today. You could get yours right now. This is a special time offer. $30 through the Cash App for any one of them. They're all 30. And you could put inside of the Cash App which one you want. Alright? Just put which one you want inside the Cash App description and I'll handle that. And give me your email so I can contact you for your address. We working, man. We're gonna be in Atlanta, like I said, June 30th at the lecture entitled The Universe is Conspiring. You know what I'm talking about? I'm going down south. I gotta go down south. I gotta go eat some food, man. Yesterday was the first day I ate solid foods for a whole week. So I'm gonna go downtown. I'm gonna go down south and stuff my face. I'm going to Tassili's. I'm going to all of the vegan spots, and I'm gonna eat all good food because I gotta celebrate the fact that I'm able to eat again. They took 4 of my wisdom teeth out, so I basically was eating oatmeal and soup. You know what I mean? And that wasn't really too good. And now I could eat home fries. I stepped it up. I could eat you know. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hitting down south and just eating that love. You know what I'm talking about? Because down south fattens you up with love. The air is different. New York is the sun in New York ain't the same as the sun out there. The sun out there is a regenerative. It's a power sun. It's a melanin feeding sun. It repairs DNA. Like Florida sun, if you're ever injured or if you ever have to repair your DNA, go to Miami. I know that because of my structure, that it works for me like that. When I go to Miami, based off my DNA, I guess it's my DNA genetic structure. But when I go to Miami, that shit just automatically repairs me and fixes me. Just stepping on the grid. I don't know if you can understand the concept that I'm sharing with you, family. Just stepping on the grid. The equator just works with it. The sun hits me different, and I could even start, like I could feel my cells just multiplying because it just wakes up something inside of me. I'm a conduit. You know what I mean? I'm a conduit. The sun feeds the copper that's in my blood. Like I really got copper in my blood. Henceforth, the color of my complexion. You know what I'm saying? You could put something copper, right? Let me show you. This is a copper penny, right? There you have it. Copper complexion. So there's a lot of copper inside of my blood. There's a lot of copper. I'm heavily copper. You know how niggas is like they heavily melanated? Well, nigga, I'm heavily coppered. I'm heavily copper toned because I got heavy deposits of copper. Copper is a conduit. So the sun does something different to me than it does to the Europeans who've been dying from heat waves. As a matter of fact, I just put an article on my Instagram about the heat wave that's about to hit Europe right now as we speaking. There's a hot sand coming from the Sahara. The ancestors said, "Look for me in a whirlwind." There's a hot sand coming out of the desert, and it's going into Europe. And the last time they experienced that, there were 15,000 deaths due to exposure to heat. Think about that concept right there. Think about that science right there. And think about the fact that we can establish that there's a genetic difference between a race of people on this planet, and that genetic difference stands out in ways that you don't have to be a rocket science to understand. So think about it. Europeans or white people thrive in icy conditions. They thrive in cold conditions. These conditions are known to be conditions where no life thrives. With flowers and plant life and electrical things do not thrive in the ice. They do not thrive in the cold. They do not thrive in cold weather. This is where white people thrive. Black people become less powerful in cold environments like the Siberia, like Vermont, like New York winters and things of that nature. But on the opposite side of it, whereas you have something like the sun that does what? It makes all living things thrive. It makes all natural things thrive. It makes all living things live. This is what we thrive in. Black people, we come alive when a motherfucking sun comes out. We are solar activated when we get hit. Our melanin gets activated. We are our greatest summer Olympics. We are Hercules. We turn on in the sun. And these same people got beef with the sun. And the sun kill them. Oh, I've been in temperatures where I felt like I was fit to die. But never like that, nigga. Never really died. Not die. I just felt like I was going to melt. But not melt. They're melting. and dying under the sun. The same sun the niggas is using the tan with. You don't see a problem with that? You don't think that that's vampires? You don't see the correlation? How did 15,000 people die in the fucking sun, bro? That doesn't make no sense to me. That doesn't make, I can't even fathom that. People are not dying with a lot of melanin from sun. So that disparaging fact right there will help establish how genetically there is a difference. And that difference is doing what? Remember, who is the European at war with? Nature. Who are they trying to destroy? Nature. Who are they trying to throw the cycle of weather off? Nature's. What sun? Who's trying to block the sun? Them. They have an insatiable beef with nature. And who's attached to nature? You are. Who's attached to nature? Animal life, wildlife, the whales, the squids, the sharks, the Atlantic, the Pacific, all of the places that they're poisoning, all of the oil that they're leaking, all of the places that they're going to war with because they have a beef with nature. And you niggas have nothing to do with that beef. So are you with nature or are you with them? That's nothing that you don't have to argue with that. And even the ones that's with nature ain't with nature. They lying. They not with Greenpeace. They just doing that for a check. That's a write-off. They really don't like nature. You know what I'm talking about? So they don't like the Th3rds or the Th3rsday. They at war with them. Everything that they doing in their media, everything that they doing in their curriculums, all of the shit that they promote is at war with nature. Them rainbow flags is at war with nature. That's a fact. That's a glitch in the matrix. That's not nature. They flipped the rainbow upside down. It's perverted. It's inverted. It's an upside down rainbow. It's an upside down spectrum. And for the people that claim that, I'm talking about some shit that came before you came in the building. I'm talking about the shit that the vampires grew up and then they gave it to you. That's their culture. Astaghfirullah. You niggas is standing on a rooftop when I'm trying to drop these bombs. But I don't give a fuck. You gonna go down with the building too. That's not you. You didn't come up with that. That's not your invention. I'm not saying that I'm saying that the vampires made that. I'm saying that I'm saying that the goddamn parasites, I'm saying that the poison disease body made that. I'm saying that that's anti-nature. I'm saying that came out of the caves and the sheep and the animal bestiality. I'm saying that came out of pedophilia. I'm saying that comes from a deviation. I'm saying that comes from malnourishment of the quote-unquote body when it's lacking certain things and you can't think right and you're not moving right and you're imbalanced and shit. That's what I'm saying. Unapologetically. And I'm not judging you. I'm smudging you. Facts. That's all I'm saying. But I'm going to stand where my feet are planted firmly and do what the fuck I came here to do, because my mission is about truth. My mission is about something completely different. People running around giving people who can't even take a fucking suntan all of the fucking credit in the world, and you run around calling them supreme, and then you have all of you're dedicating your whole goddamn platform to bigging up their supremacy all the times. I see issues in that. Nigga, you supreme. What you talking about? It's the fact that you've been eating hogs and shit, and you've been eating goddamn human flesh in the form of a whopper. That's why the sun is fucking you up, melanated person, sweating out crude oil. You know what I'm saying? It's because you got parasites and worms and all kind of fucking critters inside of you. That's why. And them shits is coming to the surface. If you had an electric body and you were properly motherfucking nourished, and you had the water that was inside of your body was not sludge, and it was alkaline, and it was electrified, and you didn't have all of these deviancies that was putting your health at risk, so you got all of this feces, fecal matter in your bloodstream, you would be able to shine in the motherfucking sun. Your DNA would be able to evolve, because it's supposed to evolve in the sun as your copper, your DNA, and all of these things are supposed to be released. You're supposed to get downloads. You're supposed to get downloads. Your melanin is supposed to really pop. Your melanin pop when your pineal is awakened and you third eye awaken. And then you start magnetizing. You're magnetic. You're pulling things into your reality. You're collapsing shit with your mind. You understand? You're godding up in this bitch. You're an American god. You standing on your square and you making shit rain, heat, snow, and hail. You making earthquakes quake and volcanoes explode. You doing it collectively in the mind when you control your urges and your magic. That's a fact. The sun is your father and your mother, and it's where we come from. The hell. And the people who the sun got beef with, nigga, I got beef with. Until we figure it out what they got, why they got beef with them. Shit. But you owe it to yourself to prepare your vessel, and to prepare your temple, and to prepare you to benefit off of the information and the power of the sun and the moon, because they both raining down on you and feeding you. Sun gaze, you know, get into that. Breathing, some yoga. It's summertime, you know, we got to get into that running, working out, cardio, core exercises, that stomach, you know what I mean, that core grounding, the leg exercises, all of that. You know, this whole July I'm going in. You know what I'm saying? This whole July I'm going in. You know, but I'm about to get out of here because my day got to start. So I got work to do. We've had a good session. You know what I mean? We dropped a lot of information. Y'all know where we're going to be at this weekend. I don't even have to repeat it. After that, we'll be in Long Island coming up. And then we'll be in Philadelphia. That's the 12th and the 13th. July, we'll be at the July 4th weekend. We'll be in Brooklyn at the International African Arts Festival in Commodore Park, which is between Fort Greene and Farragut Projects. It's going to be a 4-day event. It's going to be powerful. We'll be on the field with Queen Afua and Brother Ali. All right, Ali the Great, and the rest of the family out there. And we'll have all products on deck. We'll be out there all 5 days. All products on deck. Cosmic Kitchen, Seven Heaven Seymour's. I'm gonna have Nodal Edge Media, KTL University. I'm gonna have the Vegas lecture and a few other lectures on deck with me. I'm also gonna have all of my Kings County clothing. I'm also gonna have my these precious stones, the rocks. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Among some other things. So pull up. All right. Love and light to the family. I'll see y'all on Melanin Monday. Peace. Shout out to Empress Bree 444. All right. Thank you for holding it down. Peace, y'all.